This is the video for Wednesday, April 14th. Why do we have federal income tax? Pause the video to answer that question. Well, we have federal income tax to pay for all the things that the federal government does. You have to, everything that you want the federal government to do, whether it's supplying the needs of the people, the welfare of the people, the general welfare, or the national defense, or whatever it is, supplying COVID-19 stimulus payments, whatever it is, those have to be paid for, and they're only paid for by the government. And the government doesn't have its own money. It takes money from the people in order to pay for those things. So that is why we have federal income tax. There's a longer, more complicated answer about the history of federal income tax. Federal income tax was actually illegal for much of the history of this country until the 16th Amendment, when the Constitution was changed to allow for Congress to collect income taxes. So, but that's a whole extra discussion that we don't really have time for. So, why do we have federal income tax? To pay for all the things the government wants to do. All right, if you remember from earlier in the semester, we have three types of economies. We have market economy, command economy, and mixed economy. The market economy, goods and services are produced by private companies. There's also private property rights in that market economy. In the command economy, the government controls production of everything. And a mixed economy is a market economy in which the government owns some property, offers some kind of goods and services, and makes some rules that affect how businesses can compete. This is review, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. But in the United States, we have a mixed economy, and that is an economy where you have property rights, you can own your own business, you can own your own labor. However, the government also is entrepreneurial. The government collects taxes, the government does different things, provides different benefits, things like that, and they offer some regulations in order to either level the playing field or protect something like the environment, something like that. So those are some of the types of regulations the government might have in the United States. So in a mixed economy, the government collects taxes to pay for government expenses. What might those expenses be? So think about the types of things that might happen there. What are the things that the government spends money on? Government spends money on things like national defense, veterans and foreign affairs, social programs, physical, human, and community development, law enforcement, interest on the national debt. Here's a pie chart of government spending. This is not recently. This is years ago. In the last year, the spending has been totally shifted because of COVID and COVID spending. But basically, we've got three big categories down here. We've got health, 28%, Social Security, 25.3%, defense and homeland security, 16.2%, and then so those are going to be the three biggest sort of categories, and that's health at 28%. Way back before, without doing Medicare for all, like that type of thing. Imagine if the government paid for all of the people's medical expenses, how much that would end up being. Right now, we're paying 28% of our budget. If they paid more, it would be a whole lot more. All right, so we also have a Social Security tax. It is called the FICA tax, which stands for Federal Insurance Contributions Act. And the Social Security Act provides the following benefits for employees and their dependents, provides retirement benefits, benefits for the dependents of retired workers, benefits for the disabled and their dependents. You've probably heard that Social Security is not going to be around by the time you're able to collect it, and that is absolutely true. Unless something is dramatically changed, mathematically, it's just not going to be there. They're going to run out, and you're going to have to save for yourself, which is why we're going to be talking about investing next week. It's important for you to invest your money because you don't want to be stuck waiting on the government to take care of you in a system where the government can't take care of you. So the Medicare tax is used to provide medical benefits for certain individuals when they reach the age of 65. That's generally because most Americans get their health care through their insurance provider. And so they or through their work, they get their insurance through their work, and once you retire, now insurance is coming out of pocket. And so the government's decided, hey, maybe instead of that, we're going to go ahead and have the government pay for that. And so you have a specific additional tax in order to make that happen. So these things combined are called payroll taxes. Here's your percentages. The Social Security tax is 6.2%. The Medicare tax is 1.45%. And the total payroll taxes are 7.65%. That comes out of your check. And it comes out of your check whether you make a little bit or a lot. That is what comes out of your check. There is a cap on that. Once you're making multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, they don't continue to take 7.65%. So if you're talking about some professional athlete who makes $10 million a year or something, they don't pay $765,000 in that tax, in that payroll tax. They're going to pay 7.65% on the first several hundred thousand. I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. And then after that, they don't have to pay payroll taxes. But these payroll taxes are in addition to your federal income tax. There's also going to be state income tax, and your employer has to also pay that 7.65%. And so the thought is that really payroll taxes are about a 15% tax for you, because if your employer wasn't paying that 7.65% that they were paying, then presumably you would be getting that money instead. And so that's money that can't go to you because it's going to the government. So you pay about 15% of your taxes into this payroll tax, of your income into this payroll tax. And that's unlikely that you're ever going to see any of that, especially that Social Security money, if nothing changes.